Hello, my name is Logi and welcome to Quickies number 18, where I show you something that I think is cool in 5 minutes or less. Today we're going to talk about a very simple descending 3-note little sweep shape that I find to be very valuable, and it's not really necessarily what you're doing with the left hand, it's more of the configuration with the right hand. So let's try this with a very simple 1-3-5 little major triad. Looks like that. Now of course, if we're going to come down that chord, we would probably do this. Just like that, right? Upstroke handles all 3 strings. I am personally, though, not doing that, and I want to talk about why. When I play this shape, I will do this instead downstroke on the first note, and then an upstroke on the other 2. Or one upstroke that follows through to play the other 2, like you would normally do in a sweep or an economy pick type thing. Now you might be saying, well, shouldn't I just do one upstroke for everything? Doesn't that make more sense? It's physically easier to do. Perhaps, yes, but me personally, I like feeling this top note of the phrase with a downstroke for 2 reasons. Number one, it creates an accent in the pattern. So if I do this, you're hearing ba da 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 da. So you hear the accent, and I can also feel the accent, which makes it easier or kind of feel better for me to play. So right, you would normally think, okay, one upstroke to handle all 3 of those. But for me, I personally like playing that first note, the initial note of the descending shape with a downstroke, and then play the rest with an upstroke, whether I'm playing just 2 notes or I'm playing more than 2, like something like that. It's completely up to you how big you want the shape to be, but I personally like starting the shape on the high string with a downstroke. So if you want to practice this sort of thing, the easiest way to do it is just play these little 1-3-5 arpeggios, these little chord shapes, and just run through chords in the key. So this is like a 1 chord, 2 chord, 3 chord, 4 chord. I'm just going to run through all of those with this shape, again starting with a downstroke on the top string. Simple stuff like that. Now, accents in phrases like this, I think, are super important and can really kind of transform the shape that you're playing. So, for example, if I just play a normal run like this, of course, sounds fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But if I apply an accent pattern, it can almost change the general vibe of the shape. So if I did this, or a little louder, that now sounds like bum. Whereas if when I did it before, it just sounds like straight notes. So applying accent patterns to your shapes can wildly change what they sound like or what they feel like when you're playing them, or what they feel like on top of a rhythm, like a drum part or another rhythm part. So thinking about accents in your lines is very important, and this shape, the way I'm just playing it right here, naturally has that accent. So if you're ever wanting to play a shape that's groups of 3 like this, it's a perfect way to do it. Very easy to play once you get it down, and you can always hear that beginning accent pattern. So once you're comfortable with that, you can then really bring out that accented note by maybe playing some kind of little melodies on top. So let's say I'm playing like F sharp minor up here, little 6 chord, and I'm going to play little different notes on the B string as I'm moving through it. That would sound like this. Down to the 5 chord. Same thing, 4 chord. You can really sneak in a lot of cool little melodic material, and it all sounds very accented the way you're playing it right there. You can also kind of sneak it into your larger runs or larger licks, like if I did something like this. Or maybe a longer one instead of 3 strings. Like that's just 3 strings. How about a 4-string shape? Right, you really hear those accents all the time, and it gives a lot of power to those notes. You feel this rhythmic structure to the line, as opposed to just kind of this even dynamic all the time. I think it can really spice up your shapes to be something really cool. What's another one you can do? How about like... Right, that's kind of the same idea, just a modified version of it. So instead of me doing a note and then immediately turning around for the upstrokes, I'm playing a note, a little pull off, and then the single upstroke to take me through the rest of the shape. A lot of really cool stuff you can do with that, and it feels really comfortable, especially mechanically with the right hand, because that's kind of the whole point of this sweep sort of thing, to make the right hand feel very comfortable. Feels good, easy to execute, and it sounds great once you apply that accent pattern. Hopefully this stuff makes sense. See you in the next one.